Hey, everybody, how you doing? Woo! Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's get another one. Woo! For fourth place, baby. It's just like the Flint Tropics. Came down to the last day of the year, and we got that fourth spot in the draft lottery. I couldn't be more excited for the final post-game of the season. And quite honestly, maybe like in the post-game era of BSH Radio, now PHLY, the highest stakes game the Flyers have played. I didn't do a post-game after Game 7 of the Islanders. I was depressed and drunk. But seriously, this is the most into the result of a game I have been, I'm pretty sure, since the end of the 2020 fake playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's
without question
probably fair, because even last game, 82, you knew that while they had a chance of the playoffs, it wasn't something they had fully in their control. They needed help. They would have needed help days later.
Yeah. The Penguins still had to lose or something. Yeah. And like the stakes, well, yeah, maybe they get in. We all knew what was going to happen. Like what happened to the Islanders and Caps teams that did get in. Yeah. It was like, yeah, they'll get in, but for what?
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know that the person they're going to take at 4 or 5 or whatever is going to be great either. So I don't. So like, there was uncertainty on both ends.
But it's the hope, Charlie.
It's the hope.
It is now the hope, because at that 4 spot, they have great odds of winning the lottery. What did we say before this? So number 4 has 9.5% chance of both number 1 and number 2. And they can fall no further than 6th. I mean, it's a tremendous victory.
I want to talk, because I want to talk about a lot of things. I want to talk about at least a brief preview of the players who might be available at 4, wherever
I want a
they
top
pick.
6 rank.
I want to talk about that. But before we get into all of the draft stuff, I want to talk about just how unbelievably ridiculous that game was. Like,
I almost died.
So many moments of that game you can point to and just say that was bonkers.
I mean, Kolosov coming up with big save after big save at the end. Nobody back checking at all on either team.
I'm specifically talking about the third period. So you've got first minute of the third period, Flyers score. Suddenly it's like, oh, okay,
it's a 1-goal game.
This is going to be a nail biter the entire way through. You've got the goal that wasn't.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that like Bradshaw wouldn't have been able to come back to Philly without people throwing eggs at his car.
He's off my list.
If they would have lost, they would have won this game because he challenges a goalie interference, which was clearly a goalie interference.
Oh yeah, it was obvious. Yeah.
But who?
How many people online were livid when he decided to challenge that, especially when they saw the replay and realized it was going to be challenged? The poke check by James Reimer at the end to prevent the tying goal. The fact that then the Flyers cut it back to 1 again. Just an insane game.
It was insane is the word, Charlie. I honestly, what I learned about myself tonight.
Yeah.
We hope that this team is great in the future and they play with games with stakes. They play games with stakes that are far more important than like the 4th best lottery odds. I am not in good enough shape for playoff hockey.
We got a year.
I felt like I was gonna die.
Yeah. Also,
that was gut wrenching.
To hold you up for a second, let's get some likes.
65 likes already.
You got what you wanted, everyone. So get some likes in here.
65 likes already. That's wonderful. But come on, let's get to 200.
Let this
tonight.
be the night we get to 420.
420.
Oh yeah, 420. Let's go.
420 for 4th place. That felt to me like a playoff game, and I realized that's
funny.
I realized
it felt to you. It was the opposite of a playoff game for the players, but to you it felt like a playoff game.
But that's what made it stressful. It's like I'm like skate, win one. I don't think the Buffalo Sabres won a single race to a loose puck in the third period.
Their third period effort, Buffalo's third period effort. I said that the Rangers' effort last week was embarrassing. This took that to an entirely different level. They were not trying.
I thought it was almost a foregone conclusion when the Flyers get that power play. It was, Rocky Thompson, the guy everyone universally thinks is the worst dude at his job in the whole world. Yeah, it's going to be his power play that ruins this 4th. I cannot honestly believe, but It was fun. I do miss caring this much about the result of a game. Like, it has been a long, long time since I've been like cursing the goalie, yelling at guys to shoot, win a race. Now it's all opposite. It was opposite day, but they did it. The Flyers lose in regulation, and all can be well. And Charlie doesn't have to duck all of the garbage that would be thrown his way.
Aren't real. They're not.
They're real.
The universe is random and chaotic. Jinxes are not real. It doesn't matter if I tweet something saying, well, it doesn't look like they're going to win this one because they're not playing any defense. They weren't. The Flyers did not play any defense in that game. It's just Buffalo out defense-less them.
You say that, but as soon as they put the Michkov hat trick alert up, there was no hat trick.
So you just don't think Michkov is ever going to score a hat trick as long as they use that?
Up. Yeah.
As long as they use that.
Yeah, they got to get rid of that thing. It's a jinx.
There were a couple guys that did convert this year. Coots had one. Lawton had the 4-goal game. And Tyson just had a hat trick. So it has worked for them.
So it's only Michkov that it jinxes. That's the only jinx that exists.
Not all jinxes are
rational,
continuous. Sometimes they're intermittently.
No jinxes are rational.
You can
That's
defeat
why they're
them.
jinxes.
Yeah, you can defeat
You
the
can
jinx.
overcome them.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
So
the
now we're
jinx
making
is
the
still
rules
present.
of jinxes.
It's like the
these
curse
are
of
the
the
rules that
Bambino.
exist.
It was eventually broken, but that doesn't mean they weren't cursed. Maybe he just lost his power for a little while. Did the ghost of Babe Ruth for the Boston Red Sox? Now that was a ridiculous experience, quite honestly.
We forgot about the official getting a shot to the nuts.
And
What
then
a crazy
right to the
game!
balls.
One of the highlights of the night, at least it seemed at the time, he takes that one right off the old
junk.
twig and berries, and honestly.
Sure did.
Recovered pretty quick.
It was
right
a
back
sure
up.
goal. The guy was staring at a wide open net. Like, I do not blame the official for not even remotely thinking he had to worry about that because guy stared at a wide open net and he misses it 10 feet wide and
That
hits
was
him in the nuts. Like, that's something where that was so ridiculous that you almost think like, did that official call a bad penalty on him like in game 30 and this was his revenge?
If I was the ref, I would be furious. I'm like, hit the effing net. It's like what we yell at Tippett, but like just at this dude who personally injured him. But yeah, that was like the back and forth roller coaster of this game. And again, I realize it feels asinine talking about it this way, but it really was an emotional roller coaster.
Okay, so it does feel...
They were down 4-1.
It feels ridiculous to be talking about a
loss this way?
game, a lost game 82 in a meaningless season.
Very much non-playoff teams.
Bill and I literally
high-fived.
can't remember the last time I felt this way about a hockey game. We were screaming at the television.
They were. Can confirm.
Standing up several times. I was very hot. Like it was incredible. I haven't felt this alive about the Flyers in years.
Buffalo had the
I missed
shorthanded.
it so much.
They had the shorthanded breakaway. They had the other one where there was clear interference and it didn't get called. There was the 2-on-0 that somehow didn't go in. I'm just yelling F you at Alexei Kolosov the entire time. That was one of the wildest experiences I've had doing this job. And yes, that absolutely speaks to the lack of success the team has had in the last 8 years or whatever.
I'm so glad I came in here tonight because watching this game by myself would not have been as much fun.
And it, despite the best efforts as well of Matvei Michkov, who ends his rookie campaign with 2 goals and an assist, of course it's that dude, the dude we all love, and we've been rooting for. We just want that hat trick. When Torts got fired and he went on that insane streak where it was like, hey, he's got 2 goals a game here.
Yeah.
He had 5 goals in 3 games, and Charlie goes, I just feel like he's gonna get one. Oh, that was just running through my head the whole third period.
That was actually the jinx.
Yes, that was Charlie did it. Charlie, thank you, because that jinx.
Yes, thank you for your
came
service.
through today. What a freaking time! We're already at 259 likes.
Let's
that is
go.
insane. Thank you all so much for joining us on this. And just think about that. This is gonna be our most liked show, other than maybe an emergency pod when Torts got fired or when Mish came over or something. We're 10 minutes in, and it was a otherwise meaningless game 82 against 2 terrible teams. There are people who care. The entire Flyers fandom was locked in on this.
This is the thing. They just need to give us a reason.
A little bit.
A little bit of a reason. We were all on the same team tonight. We were all having fun watching these idiots lose a game. It was incredible.
So we talked pregame about you know, they announced Fedotov is the starter, and then like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour later, actually, it's going to be Kolosov. In the third period, and you like said, this feels like
It feels
Danny
like
said, yo, come here a
Danny
minute.
swoops in.
Yeah, Brad, let me talk to you a second. And then suddenly the worst goalie in hockey is the starter. What do you think Danny was thinking in that third period? Like, what do you think is going through his freaking head as they are about to come back? Then they get the empty netter, and then again they bring it within one, and they're pushing for a tie with 4 seconds left.
I assume when Shaw challenges that play, like Danny's got a list of potential coaches. He's just crossing him off like that Happy Gilmore or
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
He's crossing. Yeah, Shaw off the list. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Now that's.
I would have to believe that Danny probably, if you had a camera, he probably was stone-faced, because I feel like he's capable of hiding his emotions well enough that like he didn't want it to be caught on camera, like him cheering against his own team. But you can't tell me that he didn't want them to have the highest draft pick possible. Can't tell me that.
I'm just picturing in their box like they tinted the thing today so that they couldn't see in. Like they have like
Danny's
newspapers
like,
covered.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. He's in there like, yes!
He's like trying to cut off the building Wi-Fi so they can't watch on the iPad. That was
You mentioned Kolosov though. He wasn't bad tonight.
He really was.
Pretty much all the goals they scored were goals where we were just like, oh yeah, they didn't play defense.
Not a single bit of defense.
Like he stops 26 out of 30. That's an 867, which might be his season average.
It's about the season average.
That might have been the season average.
Yeah, it's pretty
right
close.
there, I think. But yeah, those were some pretty good goals he gave up, and he made a ton of pretty high danger saves.
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible, which is, of course he wasn't. In his swan song with the Flyers organization. I'm guessing. This is Bill guessing. I have no inside information.
Let me put it this way. I wouldn't expect Kolosov to be in North America next year. Now, I don't know if he will get loaned back to the KHL and he will continue to be theoretically a member of the Flyers organization. That's possible. I am not expecting Alexei Kolosov to be in the NHL or the AHL next season, at least to start. Maybe he'll show up to camp, but that might be about it.
All right, let's now take a second to get to our Ace Hardware temperature check. Let's take a look at which flyer is heating up or cooling off with our Ace Hardware temp check. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. And it's got to be Matvei. With all the stupidity of rooting against the team, and not saying that it's stupid. No, we should have been, and we were. But just how ridiculous the circumstances were. We got yet another big performance out of Matvei Michkov. 2 goals, and he has been credited with that assist
on the brink. Right.
So 3 points on the night in 20 minutes of ice time. 7 shots on goal. He was absolutely gunning for that hat trick. But you look now, 25th and 26th goal of the season. He is the sole rookie goal leader with those 2. He was tied with Celebrini, untied him with number 26. He's the team leader in scoring. Forster made it interesting there for a second.
Yeah, Forster finishes with 25. Michkov finishes with 26. Konechny finishes with 24.
Konechny had 20 at the halfway point. And
I know.
He's third on the team. That's
crazy.
insane. But hey,
it's pretty crazy.
It's nice that a couple of young guys
stepped
Michkov
up. Will finish. Michkov finishes the season with 16 points in his final 12 games. Now, 3 of those games were coached under John Tortorella, but obviously he got on an offensive hot streak in the immediate aftermath of the firing, then got a little colder, and then has the big game 82 to finish with the team leading goals and the rookie leading goals.
Yes,
pretty cool.
He ends up with 26 goals and 63 points. That is, I know we were told to temper our expectations, and right away he comes in, first 27 games, 27 points, and we're off to the races, thinking this dude's going to have 82, 85, 90 points. He's going to run away with the Calder, but then he hits that little cold streak. It was like 26 or 27 games where he had, I think, 6 points, and then finishes strong. It really started a couple of games leading into 4 Nations, and then coming out, he's been pretty damn good the whole time. He's likely to finish, I would say, 3rd or 4th in Calder voting. I don't think he's going to be the winner or even the runner-up, but how would you grade his rookie year, the way it turned out? 26 goals, the Tortorella stuff.
26 goals, 63 points.
Yeah.
In 80 games?
80 games.
Because he got scratched
twice.
Right. Not too shabby.
Yeah, like I don't know if realistically we could have expected much more.
Yeah,
right?
I give it an A-. I think it was a very, very good rookie year. I can't give it an A or an A+ because he's not going to win the Calder.
Yeah.
He's not a point per game guy. He clearly does still have a lot of work to do in his all-around game, but as a rookie, as a guy who started out the season at age 19, he's only 20 now. He's adapting to a new culture. He still doesn't fully know the language. He's adapting to a new team. He had to play under John friggin' Tortorella. Yeah, to finish with 26 goals and 63 points in 80 games. Yeah, that is a fantastic rookie year, and it's done nothing to disabuse me of the notion that he is going to be a superstar in this league.
So what should our expectations be for his sophomore year? I know we just wrapped up game 82. It's time to look ahead to the next 82.
Well,
100 points.
What are reasonable expectations and what are fan expectations? I think those are two different things.
I mean,
I feel
fan
instantly
expectations are 90 to 100 probably.
100
which
points.
I don't think is fair. I mean,
Of course, it's not fair of anyone not named Connor McDavid or Nikita Kucherov.
And I've said
you
it
know?
that I expect him to take a big leap next year, but
He will be scoring 100.
I just don't want people to convince themselves he's going to do it, and then when he doesn't do it, get angry at him for not doing it.
I would never blame him. I would blame someone else, obviously.
Yeah, I would blame
Okay, that's annoying too.
I would blame his center. I would blame his GM,
whoever
the
the
coach
coach
again.
is. Yeah.
Bring
John
back Tortorella.
Tortorella.
Look what Michkov did with him. You know, why not have that guy again? No, but that is our Ace Hardware temp check. It's going to be very cool to see what happens in that sophomore year for Michkov. This was such a good rookie year, and yeah, like 30 and 80 would have been great, but I don't know if that was ever a reasonable expectation, especially given the coaching situation that the team had for some of this season.
I'd have to go back and see what my prediction was because we definitely talked.
We definitely did this.
I think my prediction was something like 55 points in 60 games because I thought he was going to miss time with injury. I thought he was going to get banged up, which he didn't. I mean, he plays every single game. Had Tortorella not scratched, he might have played in all 82. So he probably undershot my expectations a little bit on a per game scoring pace, but overall production, I think he overshot it.
Yeah, I would say playing in now, he did get scratched twice, but playing in basically every game, I think that is an underrated part of this, especially considering, one, he's not the biggest dude. Now, he showed up and we saw him. Like, he looked much thicker, just well-built, sturdier than I think some people may have expected. But young guy coming over, we've seen everyone, no one held back in terms of playing him physically, didn't get a ton of help from the officials in terms of what was and wasn't legal to do to him sometimes. And to be able to get through the year, and when we talked about his conditioning as well, that was an issue at some point. Not even just, okay, he's wearing down at the end of the season, but like Charlie said in pregame, the ends of shifts, like, all right, those last 10, 12 seconds, especially if he extends the shifts a little, maybe he doesn't have his legs. It's really good to see that the baseline for a guy who hadn't had like a real NHL offseason, hadn't all the benefits of what the Flyers can do for you and the professional getting through the professional experience can do for you. It is great that the baseline is he can do it and he can finish strong like he did this year.
Yeah, it makes me feel real good about his, not necessarily his endurance, which I do think he does need to improve, but it makes me feel a lot better about his physical stoutness, about his ability to hold up under the the physical pressure of body checks at the NHL level. Because look, if he ends up being the superstar that we think he's going to be, he's going to get beat up out there. I mean, he got beat up this year. Guys were taking runs at him, and he's just a 19, 20-year-old rookie. If he becomes a 100-point-a-year guy, he's going to be getting slashed constantly. He's going to be getting, sticks to the midsection constantly. He's going to be getting late hits. He's going to be getting popped in scrums, that extra little face wash. He's going to be getting hurt. And this was a really good sign that he can deal with that and not miss time because he's a little fragile. This was not a guy in any way, shape, or form this season who looked fragile.
No, even with the conditioning, it never looked as if, I don't know if he can hold up. Like, no, that was never a concern. And honestly, that might be just as big as the production. Now, we need him to be a star-level producer, and it looks like he's on the road, but just being able to hold up because, getting through 80, 82 games, that's great, but the expectation is 90 plus.
Yeah.
That's
the hope.
We're going to need you to play nearly 100 games, and it looks as if he is well on his way to at least being able to get through that. All right, before we go any further, let's take our first commercial break. Oh, the future is bright here in Philly because of guys like the Mad Russian, and it might be so bright that you got to protect your eyes a little. Well, luckily, Shady Rays has everything you need to get you in the right frame of mind, looking ahead to this bright future and the summer that's coming up. Our friends at Shady Rays are helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their sunglasses have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. And here's a real crazy part. I don't think we talk about this enough. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, you don't have to sweat it because Shady Rays has the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. And if you don't love your shades, you can exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. So there's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. And right now, PHLY viewers and listeners, you can go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with code PHLY. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. You can be the next. All you got to do is use code PHLY today at shadyrays.com. And while we're here, it's game time, baby. Listen, Flyers season, it is officially over. But that doesn't mean you can't check out some playoff hockey. Maybe you want to drive up to Newark, see the Devils lose to the Caps, hopefully, in a quick series that gets Ovi into the second round. That would be great. No, it's not Devils Caps. What is it? It's
Devils.
It's Devils Canes.
Devils Canes. That's what it is. I knew it was one of those.
They'll be losing
middle of the East Coast teams.
Yeah.
Something like that. Either way, or maybe you want to go see some Calder action, make that trek out to Allentown, catch the Phantoms, whatever it is. Summer concerts, comedy. You got to use Game Time, the absolute best secondary ticket marketplace. And it's because of features like Game Time Picks, where they filter out the fluff and show you only the best deals on the best seats. But that's not it. You also have the seat view, the all-in pricing, and of course, the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, I want to start talking about the ramifications of tonight's game.
Okay.
Because, that was, we sweated that thing out. It was dramatic, and here we are, 4th in lottery odds. So, Charlie, I'm sure there is still plenty of deep dive draft work to be done. But since now we know they can't fall further than 6th, do you maybe have a preliminary ranking of like the top 6 guys, a group that we should be maybe focusing on if they are in the 4 to 6 range especially?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that probably the 6 guys, and that's not to say there aren't other guys who could be options, but I would say the 6 guys that you should zero in on. The top, in my mind, there's a top 2. It's Matthew Schaefer, who seems like he's a defenseman compared to Miro Heiskanen. Seems like he's probably going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I guess there's a chance a team could fall in love with someone else, and if they do, it would probably be Michael Misa, who's racked up incredible numbers in the OHL this year. He was a former early OHL guy, like guys who are considered to be exceptional players get drafted into the OHL younger than normal. He was one of those guys. Didn't have the greatest draft -1 year, so last season, but bounced back in a big way this year, scored a ton of points. Those guys, I think, are 1 and 2. So if the Flyers get into the 1 or the 2 slot by winning the lottery, those are your 2 guys you're talking about. After that, I would say that, James Hagens is the really intriguing guy because he was the projected number 1 overall pick going into this year. He's already spent a year in college at BC, and it's not that he was bad. It's just that he wasn't as good as people thought he was going to be. And I think that's gotten people a little bit down on him, but he's a really skilled center. Flyers obviously need a center. He could be there at 4 because I've heard his stock seems to be dropping. Like, he'd be there at 4, he could be there at 5, he could be there at 6, depending on what teams are there, what teams are interested in, and whether they just feel like his pro potential is lower than what everybody thought it was this time last year. Porter Martone, winger, So that's going to be a negative for Flyers fans. But especially if you're more of the physical, big, old school Flyers fan variety, Porter Martone is a big physical, not as physical as maybe you'd want him to be, but he is physical. He plays with his size. He goes to the dirty areas, the high danger areas, has a lot of potential as a net front weapon on the power play, and scored a ton of points in juniors in the OHL this year, close to 100. So those, I think, are like your big four, at least right now. And then you got two more centers. You got Anton Frondell, who's a Swede. His stock was maybe even higher maybe this time last year. It dipped in the beginning of the year, came back up in the at the end of the season as he started to get healthy and got hot. He's an option if you're looking for centers. And then Caleb Desnoyers, Elliot Desnoyers' brother, he scored a ton of points in the Q this year. He plays with a physical edge. He's got size. He's a really good, I think, all-around player. So those, I think, are your six. Not to say there aren't others. Some people really like the skill of Jake O'Brien. Some people are into the size, talent, potential of Roger McQueen, despite the legitimate injury concerns that come with him. They're both centers. Victor Eklund's a guy who I really like. I've liked in my viewings of him. He's a wing, but he plays a really fun, energetic, tenacious style. So those are some of the names we're going to be talking a lot about over the next, let's say, 2 months. 2 months? 2 months. Yes. And we'll get a lot more in depth about all those guys and more through May and into June.
Well, speaking of and more, there are 2 other first-round picks. So if you thought our rooting interest... We're over 420?
We did it!
Oh, my God!
We did it, William.
That is outstanding.
Yes,
way to go,
Kelly.
everybody. You all have...
You're the best.
You all have really come through for us in a big way this season. Again, appreciate it so much. We know this season was a drag for a lot of it. Tonight was incredibly fun and frustrating and a roller coaster, but 82 games where you're like, all right, when's the next one? It can be a drag, but you have joined us all season without fail, and we greatly appreciate it. But just because the regular season is over and now we have that first round pick locked up, or at least determined the range it could be in, the top 6, there are other rooting interests still as we look ahead to the postseason.
Yeah, it's true. For the other 2 first-round picks.
Colorado, Dallas in the first round, and Edmonton, LA in the first round. If you're thinking tonight was fun, let's do it for a whole freaking playoff series. Well, you can if you want to see the Avs and the Oilers go out early to make that pick as valuable as humanly possible. I think that is a great way to spend your postseason viewing experience, especially for some first-round matchups that are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think both of these could go the Flyers' way. Now, the joke of the Edmonton Kings series is like, well, they've lost to them so many. This is the best Kings team they've had. Darcy Kemper is going to be a nominee for the Vezina. It's a good team. Now, I think Edmonton is better, but I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility the Kings pull the upset. The bummer about Dallas, Colorado is that I actually think a healthy Dallas Stars team is better than a healthy Colorado team, but Dallas isn't going to have Kaskinen to start the series, might not have him the entire series, but Dallas is still good enough to beat them even without him. It's just they're not going to be the favorites without him.
Yeah, and just in terms of that LA-Edmonton series, one thing I think we have going for us as Flyers fans, if you're, it's cool to see McDavid make a run, but he can do that next year. Yeah. LA has home ice in this 2-3 matchup, and the Kings are 31-5-4 in the regular season at home.
That's wild.
It's one of the best regular season records for a home team ever.
It's pretty crazy. Which means they're going to lose both their home games in this series.
They are going to go down 0-2, and it's going to go 7. That is absolutely what's going to happen. They were 17-19-5 away. They were sub-5. They were sub-hockey 500 on the road. So this home ice could end up being big for both the Kings and our first-round pick. So that's cool. And we did get the result, as much of a bummer as it was, for me at least, that Columbus isn't going to be in the playoffs. It is going to be interesting to see that Habs team.
And that's a big deal with those picks, though, because the difference between an early 20s pick and a early 30s, late 20s pick, it's big, not just in terms of the players you can pick, but because I really do think this is where Danny's head's at, in terms of what you could trade those picks.
Yeah, there's no way they make 7 picks. That I think that is maybe it's not 0, but it's a real low possibility they make 7 picks.
I'd be very surprised if they use all 3 of their firsts.
Yeah.
I think that I expect the earliest pick, the one that we were all going so crazy over tonight, I expect that pick to be used. and I would guess one of the other 2 first gets used, but I don't think they're making all 3. I think one of those picks is getting traded either for a player or in a potential move up scenario.
And with the Habs winning last night, it bounces Columbus. Now all 4 second rounders belong to teams outside the playoffs, which means 7 picks in the top 50.
Love that.
Pretty
we can
good.
say whatever about the depth of this draft, and if anyone, okay, we'll see. But on draft day, teams want those picks. They do. And maybe you're able to do something with those as well. Maybe you're able to find a diamond in the rough in the second round. Maybe you're able to package some in a trade to make this team better sooner. Whatever it is, it would be a lot of fun. But
It would be.
that was things. It all worked out. After the insanity of they've ruined it. Why did they fire Torts after 3 years of Torts isn't the right coach for a rebuild? They get rid of him with 9 games to go. They win a few games. It was, why did they get rid of him now? It all worked out. They ended up exactly where we wanted them to end up.
You guys were
in that
so mad for no reason.
Yeah,
Listen, I was annoyed.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it. So, So basically, they finished 8 points ahead of the Predators. So they would have had to have lost 4 games that they won in order to have picked, or not necessarily have picked, but have finished with the third worst record in the league. I guess it's possible they could have lost 4 games that they won if they would have kept Torts, but it would have been a stretch. It would have been tough. Where did they go in the what was their record in the Shaw era?
It was they started 5-1-1 and then lost the last 2 in regulation.
Okay.
So 5-3-1.
5-3-1. Okay. So they would have had to basically go what? 1 whatever. They would have had to win 1 game the rest of the way. That does seem like a stretch, even given how hard Torts was pushing that group.
It's hockey. Teams win games.
Yeah,
They're going to
win some.
Like sometimes you win, but 4 is basically exactly what we thought they could get. There was that little stretch where it was like, can they get that 3? But I think
it was
4
the stretch the whole time.
Given what Nashville is like, there's no accounting for that. If Nashville, the team that spent $1 trillion in the offseason, just has the regular season they're supposed to, the Flyers are there at 3. It's just didn't work out. UC Soros, maybe they picked the goalie wrong but everything else kind of went the Flyers' way. And now we look ahead to our lottery party. It is coming up. We know a date. We finally have a date. It looks like the NHL Draft Lottery is going to be on Monday, May 5th. And you're going to want to join us live here in studio. We have a diehard-only draft lottery party. We're going to be doing a live show. We're going to have food and drinks. It's going to be a great time. So if you're a diehard, go to allphly.com right now and get tickets to this party. It's going to be an awesome time.
And if you're not a diehard, become a diehard. Only $36 is an intro offer. And as Bill has said many times, it's an Eagles offer, but we can overshadow the Eagles. We love them. We love the PHLY Eagles team. They're the best. But
you have to beat them.
We'd love to make them look bad by outselling them. That'd be great.
They are a beat that covers the Super Bowl champions, and we are a beat that is celebrating a loss in the final game. What if we defeated them? How good would that make you feel? And I know we have a lot of out-of-town fans, a lot of Flyers-only fans. Flyers only fans. That would be fun.
Like and subscribe.
Regardless, I think it would be a fun victory for all of us. Yeah. Not just the 3 people sitting here at this table.
And also, I did, in the middle of the game, publish my extreme deep dive on the John Tortorella legacy.
He sure did.
It's very long. I haven't done one of these long ones in a while, but this one required the treatment. To quote or to paraphrase Danny Briere, John Tortorella is a complicated man. He's a complicated coach. And complicated men and complicated coaches require a lot of words. So if you want to read this article on the nuances of the John Tortorella legacy, both as it is now and how it may stand in the future, become a diehard and read the article.
$36
If you're not a diehard, you can't read the article.
And you can't come to our lottery party.
You can't come to the party.
I forget what I was going to say next. What's up?
No, I was just pointing at them like you can't come to the party. I was being stern with them.
No, that's what it was. And if Charlie says the article was long, that's worth the $36 right there. It's basically War and Peace if Charlie says.
Yeah, if Charlie's saying it's long, it's at least 12,000 words.
Might need to break it up into a few readings.
I've been learning.
If you're a bathroom reader, you're gonna need
You don't want to sit that long
a
on
couple
the
of
toilet.
trips.
I've been learning to be more economical with my writing, mostly because I just don't have the time to do 3,000 word stories, and when I'm doing shows and everything like that. But this one was an old school Charlie O'Connor tome.
I love to hear it. All right, now since you have rewarded us with nearly 500 likes already, I think
legends.
it's time to reward one of our loyal listeners or watchers by
Yes.
picking a winner from Tuesday's post game. The keyword on Tuesday from that game was Jet, as in Jet Greaves.
Jet Greaves, not Jet
And
Luchenko.
Not Luchenko. That's two T's.
Two Ts,
I
just
did
one
count
T.
the people who put two T's, and I did appreciate some who put the second T in parentheses just
like
to be
that.
like, yeah, we're going both here. But the keyword on Tuesday was Jet. We got a ton of responses, and again, thank you all so much for like caring about us enough to do this. But the winner of Tuesday's free shirt is, let's see here. It is Deed, as in at It's Deed18 on Twitter. You
Okay.
are today's winner.
Congratulations.
I will be in touch in the DMs about how we can get you
Slide on in
that
there, William.
shirt. Let's pick tonight's keywords, and we have
All right.
a little bit of a special thing going on for
yeah, I've
tonight's
heard about
keywords.
this.
It's not going to be just one shirt we're giving away on tomorrow's show. There's going to be 5 winners tomorrow. 5 winners on tomorrow's show. We're going to get picked out of this very bucket. The keyword for the t-shirt is over, as in the season is finally freaking over. DM us either on the PHLY Flyers Twitter or the PHLY Flyers Blue Sky with the word over to enter for a chance to win one of the 5 shirts we're going to give away on Friday's show tomorrow at 4 p.m. But that's not it. That is not all. We have a second keyword tonight. What are we doing? Well, I just told you about that draft lottery party. The only way to get in is to be a diehard. You got to go to the events and RSVP. Or you can win a pair by DMing us the word 4, as in 4th place, baby. The word 4, DM us to the PHLY Flyers Blue Sky or Twitter, and we will give away a pair of tickets to our draft lottery party. Now, this is my request. I know it's just fun to win stuff. If you can't make it, our studio is here like
In the
by
city.
10th and Spring Garden in the city. This is Monday night, May 5th. If you can't make it, don't
Yeah,
answer.
don't.
I know it's fun to win stuff. I have no way to verify whether you can or can't until we like pick the winner. So just do me the favor. As your favorite director of fun and games, don't make this more work for me. Because honestly, this whole giveaway thing was more work than I expected it to be. I have to write down names and then cut them out. It's a tremendous process. Obviously, I have
very
a very
analog.
difficult life.
Is it the first time you've used scissors since like preschool?
Yes. No, and it's funny. Julia, our one producer here, also left-handed. But neither of us, we were like, yeah, there was like one pair of left-handed scissors growing up, like in every classroom.
Right.
They never worked because there's been one for 20 years. And so we have to, the only thing I can do right-handed is use scissors. It was just
I don't
kinda-
think I knew you were left-handed.
Really?
I don't think I
That's
did.
a big part of my
I
personality.
don't know that I've ever seen you write. Honestly.
Yeah, I really don't anymore.
Yeah.
I hand wrote everything for the longest time, and then one day it was like, now when I do, I get tired. Like my hand, like cardio in the hand, absolutely.
I still have to
freaking
take
terrible.
notes, so that's the main
Yeah.
reason. Like when I do my Flyers post-practice notes videos, I write out my script by hand because I don't have a printer when I'm at the facility, and I'm not just going to put like my computer screen up there because that would look weird me looking down. So I write it up by hand. And that's the most writing I do these days because obviously everything else I type.
Yeah.
We all
Got
type now.
DNVR homies in the chat.
Oh, cool.
DNVR, I like it. They're joining us. I'm sorry we're rooting against you. I typically root for
not
the Avs
personal.
every year, but in the first round and any subsequent round after that you happen to make, I will be very anti-Colorado. Of
gotta
course,
stay
like we
more
had that
friendly.
Florida pick last year and they won, so one of the two teams probably going to win the cup because that's the Flyers.
Well, at least for this round, though, we might be rooting against the NVR, but we're rooting
Yeah,
for
we're rooting-
DLSS.
Yeah, the new upstarts.
DLS.
You know what, Denver? You've had enough success.
Sure.
You've seen a cup. You've seen an NBA championship.
You have a whole bar.
Dallas.
The
what
whole bar.
Yeah, you have a
I've
bar.
been there.
Our
Very
friends,
nice.
Nice.
Our friends at DLLS, they're the upstart. They're the expansion franchise here at All City.
And they just lost Luca. Come
yeah,
on.
they lost Luka. Let's give them a little. And like, you got to deal with the Cowboys. I mean, that right there deserves a little bit of sympathy, at least. I have none for them, but some may.
Some may.
Shirt winner in the chat.
Oh,
Hey!
sure. Oh, outstanding. Congrats. All right. Yeah, before we get to the next commercial break, let's hit Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars of the game, presented by Rite Aid. It's those Rite Aid 3 stars For the last time of the 2024-25 season, let's do Charlie's favorite segment. Who is tonight's third star?
Third star of the game is going to be Peter McDougal, the official.
The official. I love it.
Junk.
I love it.
He
got hit in the junk.
The fact that he got up as quickly as he did and just went along the rest of the game with seemingly no problem, I'm guessing that he's going to be in pain for quite a while. But I respect the fact that he did not let it stop him from doing his job. That is a hard worker there. Peter McDougal, third star.
A real
Absolutely love it. Charlie, who was star number 2?
Star number 2 was one Matvei Michkov. Obviously, 2 goals and an assist. We love to see Michkov finish with the team leading goals and the rookie leading goals. Huge game for Matvei Michkov for the numbers. And, he didn't score the goal that messed everything up. So.
No, that's, once again, and as we talked about all year, the perfect tank game. They lose in regulation and Michkov goes off. How about it?
It was a little touch and go, but
who is the final first star of the season, Charlie O'Connor?
The friends we made along the way. No?
It's Ryan McLeod.
All right.
It is Ryan McLeod, 3-point game, scores the empty net goal, sets up that one by Jack Quinn, which was a really nice play by him to get around Yegor Zamula. He had a really good game. I've heard some people, I'm one of them actually, who's compared Jet Luchenko to Ryan McLeod. I view it as kind of like, at least going into this year, I viewed McLeod as sort of Luchenko's worst case scenario, because before this year, McLeod was more of a mid-30s, third line center type with really good speed. This year, he's over 50 points. So hey, if this version of McLeod is a mid-range outcome for Jet Luchenko, wouldn't be the worst thing. And he looked real good tonight, and he's a big reason why the Flyers finish with the 4th worst record in the league. First star of the game, Ryan McLeod.
Thank you.
Did you ever think we'd be celebrating the 4th worst team in hockey like this?
Listen.
If
you're gonna do something, you got to do it all the way.
Yeah, if you're not first, you're last, unless you're fourth. Which is decent.
Yeah, which is okay.
All right. With that, let us take another quick second to tell you about a couple sponsors.
Ew.
All right, we're going to lead it off with Ashley Furniture. And, we've been talking about a couple of contests we've been running here. Well, how about the Ashley Fan Cave sweepstakes? Let's, for a second, imagine your fan cave with a bold new centerpiece, the Mod Max sectional from Ashley. And now, imagine getting it for free. Well, you can, because we've teamed up with Ashley to give one lucky winner the chance to bring home this flexible, ultra comfortable sectional, plus a $1,000 gift card to bring your dream fan cave to life. The Mod Max sectional is spacious and built for the most die-hard sports fan. Whether you're hosting movie night, kicking back with the fam, or most importantly, it's game day, this sectional is the upgrade your space needs. Entering is super easy. Just head to allphly.com/Ashley to learn about the contest. See if you're eligible, fill out your info, and then that's it. You're in the running. But don't wait. These sweepstakes won't last forever. Get your entry in now, and you could be watching the next big game on a brand new Mod Max sectional, courtesy of our friends at Ashley. Mod Max Modular Sectional by Ashley. Your choice of color comes in blue or gray and configuration. It's up to 5 pieces. You must reside within our local delivery area to qualify for the Fan Cave giveaway. Again, visit allphly.com/Ashley for the full contest information and eligibility requirements. Terms and conditions apply. And now let's talk about TrueMark. TrueMark, get your money right. It's almost spring. Well, it is spring, and we're springing into savings. That's where our friends at TrueMark Financial Credit Union come in, because if you have financial goals, whether it's buying a house, taking that dream vacay, or building your emergency fund, TrueMark Financial Credit Union has the perfect savings account for you. TrueMark Financial offers high-rate certificates and money market accounts to help your money grow faster and work harder for you. Visit TrueMark.com for rates and to learn more. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Rates are subject to change. I want to talk about a couple of guys now, get our feelings on their season. We will, of course, be wrapping up some things over the next week or so leading into the offseason. But, Sean Couturier was one of the major question marks. He finishes the season tonight with a pair of assists, which gets him to 45 points 45 points on the season.
15, 30, 45 is his
15, 30, 45. That's real easy to that's good stuff right there. I like symmetry like that. But you look at like his career. 45 points is one of his more productive seasons, especially like if you take out Claude Giroux, you know, and it's not as if he wasn't a major part of that.
I don't like the implication that he was a product of Claude Giroux.
He wasn't, but 30 goals and 76 points was a product of Claude Giroux.
Claude Giroux helped, to be sure.
Yes.
But I don't think he would have regressed to be a 45-point guy if Giroux wasn't there. I think that leap was real.
And he certainly eased the burden on Giroux, so Giroux could do more of the stuff he's best at. And it's like, half the faceoffs, you don't have to take him anymore. Maybe someone else drives us through the neutral zone to get us into the zone.
I mean, Couturier was
go to work.
He allowed them to move Giroux to wing.
Yes, it worked together, but those years I do think are a little bit of anomalies, and now we know he's just not that guy anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same.
But the fact that he gets through 79 games this year, has 45 points. Now I don't know how this remaining contract is going to age, into 2030, but
rest of the decade,
yeah, at least for the immediate future, this has to be pretty encouraging that we have a guy who we can count on to get through a season, be reasonably productive, do all the stuff he's best at in terms of driving play, be a defensive specialist. I got to say, I'm way more optimistic about Sean Couturier, at least his immediate future, than I was a year ago when we were having this conversation.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think it's pretty clear that, we've talked about it a million times. The best case scenario for him as this contract goes on is to be a solid third-line center for this team. And, clearly he can be, based on this season. This is all that obviously more would be better, but this is all we need from him in order for all of the puzzle pieces to fall into place. Obviously, so long as Briere goes out and finds a 1C, 2C that are better than Sean Couturier and Noah Cates. It's incredibly positive because I do think that last season there was a lot of real ooh, I don't know. And I think the question's answered, honestly.
I think going back to last season, it was really all just the second half.
Yes.
He's not even the second half, really.
He fell off.
Basically, around the end of January through the end of the year, because there was a point about a little bit before 2/3 of the way through that season where he had 30. It was the halfway point. He had 30 points in 40 games. 0.75 point per game player. Honestly, with all the other things he does, that's probably worth his cap hit.
Yeah.
Then he completely fell off in the second half of the year, and by the end of the year, he was getting scratched, obviously, but also he just wasn't playing well. You could see he was barely scoring. What makes me feel the best about this year isn't even that he has more points. Yes, that's good. I'm glad that he finished with 45 points, solid season all around. His underlying numbers, as they've always been, still very good. I like that he finished strong.
Yeah.
Because that shows me that his body can handle it.
Yes.
His body can handle the grind of an 82-game season. Maybe last year was just a combination of he did get hurt. We know that happened. He had the core muscle surgery at the end of the year, but also he was coming off a 1.5-year layoff, and he probably had to retrain his body to be able to deal with an 82-game grind. Whatever he did this offseason, it worked because now he can handle it again.
And we've been over a million times, because of injuries and a pandemic, things like that just shortened the season because of it. He hadn't played a full year since 2018-19.
So
it had
crazy.
been a long, long time since he got through it. And last year, you see the fall off. You're like, oh, okay, what is this going to look like? But now it seems as if he's relatively healthy and through that part. And I'm really happy that it's working out this way because is that almost $8 million going to absolutely kill them? No, the cap's going up and everything. But if he's just a non-factor, well, then it is. Yeah. Then it is a really bad contract. This is at least, all right, he's a little overpaid, but we can live with it because he's still giving us something. So I think that's definitely...
I'm not that worried about Sean Couturier now. I mean, could the money be allocated better? Probably. Yeah, sure. But he's still a good player. And I think he's better than a lot of people realize because he's still driving play and doing all the little things that people who didn't like him, underrated him, 10 years ago when it was the same thing.
We're worried about Owen Tippett, to be quite honest.
That Owen Tippett breakaway, another.
No way.
Of course he's going to do this now.
Never gonna happen.
Of course he's going to do this now after not scoring the whole second, or basically the whole season.
And he didn't.
No, but he did not convert. That was nice. Another dude before. How many? I think we have a ton of super chats.
Yeah, we have a
How
lot
many
of
do
super
we
chats.
28. All right,
Holy
we
moly.
have to get to the super chats now.
All right.
Brink and Forster, nice ends to the season. Way to go.
Well,
Let's
we
hit
have
those super
lots
chats.
of time to talk about them
That's
in the next
true.
3-4 months.
All right, let's hit those super chats. All right, the first one from Devin S93 says, "What a weird watching experience. Stressful like a playoff game. Only the level of hockey on display was terrible, and rooting for the wrong team." No, that was. The
wild.
level of play was that of a bunch of dudes who were like, let's pad our stats and get out of here healthy. The stress level and the excitement, some of it negative, positive, the roller coaster felt as close to a playoff game as we've had here in 5 years, I'll tell you that. It was a weird experience. All right, from the boss it's Vince Pellegrini. What's up, Vince? Why not us? Also, why not us getting a top pick? Hey,
is he now going to turn his why not us
into winning the lottery?
To the lottery? I think he might be.
I like it.
You'll all have to come and meet Vince at the draft lottery party.
He's the
all
best.
of our diehards, come on out. If you're not one, you know the deal. Sign up. All right, who is Mike Mall? Has to be the most important loss in Flyers history.
Well, let's see how the draft goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, see what happens and all.
First, we'll see how the lottery goes, then we'll see how the draft goes. But hey, it has the potential to be, if they get in this draft the 1C that can be, the I don't even want to say the Batman and Michkov, like the Robin and Michkov's Batman, because I hope it's like, they're both superheroes.
Justice League.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman.
Batman and Superman. Yeah, let's go with that. He can be the Batman to Michkov Superman.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely franchise changing. But I wouldn't even say we're halfway there. Shout out to Bon Jovi. I would say that we're like a third of the way there to getting to that point.
Yes.
But it's a good start. It's a good start.
For the game itself, like this did feel like the highest stakes game in a long, long time. It just so happens the stakes were like, please freaking lose. And they did. All right, from AOB. The Flyers avoided a Flyers tonight. Let's go. Thanks for the coverage this season.
That's a funny super chat.
No,
AOB.
This was absolutely.
They did avoid pulling a Flyers.
This was the most Flyer. It was going to. The way this game ended, it was, of course they're going to go to overtime. Because even if they lose in overtime, they put themselves at 6. Like they still put themselves at 6, and it would have been honestly the most poetic way for this thing to go. But luckily they didn't blow it. All right, from Phantoms legend Richard Park.
Yeah.
Kolosov did it. Honestly,
He played okay.
He wasn't the
He
worst.
wasn't bad.
This was not Kolosov's worst game.
I was waiting the whole game for Kolosov to give up one of his patented "what the heck was that" goals, and he never did.
Like they dump it in and it comes off the back wall and he goes to play it, but accidentally knocks it into his. I was waiting for that the whole game. But it did seem
never happened.
He made some big saves in this one, and I thought, like, this is his spiting the organization. This
is his revenge.
This is what you get for sending me to a hotel by myself in Allentown. Allentown. Apparently the worst place in America.
According to Alexei Kolosov.
I liked it when we were there.
That's fine.
Whatever.
I'm not that against
but
Allentown.
yeah, that was all right. From the Flyers, man.
I think it's apparently DA Flyers, man.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's a district attorney.
He said that in our chat after I called him Da Flyers, man.
Yeah. District attorney. Maybe we have a district attorney on our side.
Maybe.
Could feel the relief in Charles' final tweet. LOL.
Yeah.
Kelly, I don't know.
This was a long season. This was a really long season.
I can't wait for Charlie to be done. More than I'm celebrating my own summer vacation, I am happy Charlie gets one. But just the relief of all of us. Kelly, we've been working together how long? 10 years almost?
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever high-fived. We legitimately high-five after the empty netter.
Yes.
And then, of course, they still had to make it
like a hard high five.
Yeah, it was a good one. All right. From, was it Bomb-ner-1? Kelly was right. Torts cost Michkov the Calder.
Again, I'm right in my analysis.
I don't think he was beating Lane Hudson regardless. He would have had to have gone point per game to have a shot.
Here's the thing, Charlie. You know that some of these guys are going to sort by points total. If he had gotten...
Here's my question. Actually, this is a serious question, Kelly.
Yeah.
As someone who, because I mean, I don't share this opinion, to be clear, but as someone who does believe that like John Tortorella ruined the season of Matvei Michkov, how many points do you think Torts cost him? Gut feeling, if a coach who wasn't John Tortorella was the coach of the Flyers, how many points does Matvei Michkov score?
15 more.
So you think he would have gotten around 80?
Yeah.
So like, what would that have been? 78? He finished with what, 63?
Yeah, he finished with 66.
66.
Leighton Hudson finished with 66 points in 82 games, 6 goals, 60 assists.
And Michkov finished with 63, right?
Yeah.
What's his plus minus? He's a defenseman.
He is -2.
Oh, it's better than it was last time I looked
So
at it.
Kelly thinks that a non-Tortorella coached Flyers team would have gotten 78 points out of Matvei Michkov. I'm not sure that's enough to beat Lane Hudson.
Lane Hudson had...
And here's the other thing, too. Okay. The other thing that Torts did was a lot of downplaying. Like, he does a lot of, like, vocal downplaying of players.
True.
Whereas Celebrini and Hudson were, like, by their teams, like, look at these dudes. Look how good they are. Throw them out all the time. Like, John Tortorella's back here like, I don't know. I'm going to scratch him.
He's not that great. Also,
Yeah,
I heard that almost calling Lane Hudson Ludson.
Ludson.
But I kind of
almost
love
got
it
there.
because Cole Hudson is going to be an NHL player too.
Oh, he's gonna have
we
a
can have
Ludson.
Cutson and Ludson.
There you go.
Hudson. Here's the thing about Lane Hudson's rookie year. It was historic.
It was
66
good.
points for a rookie defenseman is tied for the 4th most ever. 60
saying he's
assists
not
for a
good.
rookie defenseman, if NHL.com ever is tied for the most ever with Larry Murphy, who is pretty good. It was historic, and I don't want to take anything away. It's just when a Montreal Canadian and they make the playoffs, and it's literally historic. It has to be him.
Have I once claimed to be a rational person?
I know, Kelly.
Okay.
But yeah, we got time.
Let me have my thing.
Actually, we're like 5 minutes left or something. From Mike Beggs. That was our Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl, Flint Tropics, baby. No, that was I had the tweet ready to go, hashtag Let's Go Flyers, with just the 4th place, and then Brink scores. I was like, I didn't hit send. I didn't jinx this. It wasn't me.
do it.
But they finished it
I was
off.
100% in that third period. I was 100% thinking of that South Park episode when they're playing Little League Baseball.
They're trying to lose.
And basically, it's like the South Park team thinks they've got this in the bag because they're so bad. And then the other team gets really good at being bad.
practice
And I was like,
losing.
that's kind of what the Sabres are doing right now.
absolutely.
They are not even trying a little bit.
And you think, like,
They are playing anti-hockey.
it's the Sabres. They're great at losing.
Yeah, it's true.
From JH, did Brad save his job after losing it with the challenge? Have never been that anxious watching a game in a long time. Calling it now. Matty Hattie, season opener.
That'd be cool.
See you at the lottery party. I can't wait to see
They'll probably
it, JH.
send us to Winnipeg for the season opener.
They do-
Knowing these awful schedulers.
They do tend to open us on the road a lot.
do.
And they do tend to send them to
The West Coast.
a far off time.
Yes.
All right. And with that, you got to head to allphly.com now to keep watching because we're going to overtime.
Ew.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love that.
From our DNVR pal, Nate Rudolph. 07, y'all rooting for EJ and the Avs now, right?
Unfortunately, Nathan,
the
there is a
pick.
vested interest for anyone following the Philadelphia Flyers to root for the Dallas Stars in this first round series. So,
On account of
But
the
if the
draft
Kings
pick.
win and we at least get one early exit, I think I can ease back a little on the Avs. But
Okay.
whatever.
I do be
You do
loving me
you,
some
Bill.
Nate
You
Mac,
do you.
though.
We'll see. We'll see how I feel each day. From K-Red, dear Charles, I am sorry for mentioning.
Oh,
Or for
memeing.
memeing.
Oh,
Love
because he
K-Red.
was one of the people who was on my case about the Jinx.
He was. It was.
It was a hell of a tweet, Chuck. Another one here from Devin S93. Michkov has the G problem of never scoring.
We were talking about this
Hatties.
during the game.
Yeah, you mentioned
It is
that.
funny that it's been a talking point. Like, oh, he didn't get one. He was so close a bunch of times. Had so many multi-goal games this year, and it's G did have a postseason one.
Yeah, in that crazy Pittsburgh series.
Pittsburgh series where he and Couturier both had hat tricks. But his first regular season hat trick was that season closer against the Rangers. Like, what was that, 2018 or
Yeah,
something?
2018.
To get into the playoffs. That was his first career regular
when he
season hat
cracked
trick.
100 points.
His
Something
MVP
tells me it's going to take less than 800 games for Michkov to get 3. I
think so.
I like that prediction that he gets one in the opener
I like
next
it.
year.
Yeah, he gets the Hattie next year.
All right,
Confident
from JH, that was dear Charles. Sorry for memeing.
He's
That was
not
another one.
sorry for
He's
me.
not.
Oh, not
sorry.
sorry for
Not
memeing.
sorry.
Memeing. Okay. From Gary B. Hopefully was the last tank loss night for years.
Yeah, there
So-
is an element from my perspective of yes, this was fun and people got into it and it was cool to see fans, engage with the game. But it is kind of embarrassing that it had to come like this.
Yeah. No, listen, this job is great and I love it, but we had fun watching a game twice this year. And the Michkov watch and all that was a good time. It was a nice thing in a season that was a waste otherwise. But like the Cutter game and this one, I would like for 50 games a year to be fun.
Cool.
That would be cool. And then, Saturday, I would like to be doing a playoff pre and post game. That would be neat. That would be cool. Hopefully this is it. All right, from Obi-Wan, Dear Charles, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
Is this like a reference to something?
Eminem Stan?
Eminem song.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
All right, from
Charlie's got fans.
Please don't kill your family.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
That's how the song ends.
I know. From Aviator, thank you, Bill, Charlie, Kelly, Steve, PHLY for a great season. Crack a cold one and celebrate this loss. Can we do this another year for McKenna?
I don't know if I can do it another year.
I just really don't want to. I understand people have maybe that opinion. And yeah, that dude looks like he's going to be a freaking stud. Just an absolute killer. But
if it ends up that way, all right. I just don't. I can't hope
I understand.
For it.
If you're going to be bad, be real bad. But I hope they're not bad at all.
Yeah, hopefully Matvei Michkov personally prevents that. What if he has 100 points? I can't imagine that they are one of the 3 worst teams or whatever. All right, from Mike Larson. Thank you for all your hard work this season, guys. XOXO.
Thanks, Mike.
And while we're doing all the thank yous, obviously, the 3 of us and Steve get the love. We're in front of the cameras. Our producers are freaking great.
The best.
We have Bree with us this week. We've had Brenna all season.
We've had Julia this week,
Julia,
too.
we've had this week for our 4 p.m. shows. We could not do it without the producers. They do a whole lot of work.
They do.
When you're seeing me here typing when someone else is talking, it's because I forgot to do something and I have to do it for them now because I've made their job harder. And God bless them, they never complain.
If you enjoy the Flyers post practice notes, that's 80 to 90% Brenna. It's incredible how much better those have gotten over the last 2 seasons, how much she's added with her clips and her graphics and her editing. It's pretty much all Brenna. I just say words. She's incredible. Everybody's great here.
Yeah. All right, from Eric, what's that, Feuerstein? We'll get a PHLY Flyers tat on my ass if we win the lottery. Love you guys.
Ooh.
Thanks for a great season of pods.
I don't think
hold you to that, bud.
We've seen a PHLY Flyers tattoo yet. I can't wait for the first
one on the butt. Apparently,
When I get my new contract, I'll get a PHLY tattoo.
Okay.
From Gary B. Bill, Charlie, Kelly, love you and all. Can't wait for next year already. Let's go Flyers.
We love you too, Gary.
Gary.
Thanks for all the support this
I'm
year.
looking. And Gary B. Yeah,
he's the best.
Speaking of thank yous, dear Lord, Gary B. I see JH has another one in there. Yeah. All of our regulars, K-Red. Thank you for
awesome.
hanging with us through another ridiculous season. All right, from Borfus. Love to hear from Borfus always. Perfect ending. Mish will get his Hattie next year. Thanks for a great season, gang. You guys and the chat make this team so much more bearable. Let's go Flyers.
We try.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a little thing
trying.
that Kelly, I think, was trying to show me earlier, and I didn't understand. The fact that Scott Lawton apparently still kills the Detroit Red Wings. Even overtime game winner against the Detroit Red Wings. He still kills them.
It is unbelievable.
Even when he's not a Flyer.
If that guy played against the Red Wings every night, he'd be going to the Hall of Fame and he'd be breaking Ovi's record.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what he does to them. All right, from Brianna Klein. Thank you all for the shows this season. You all make following this team much more fun, and that's our goal.
Brianna.
We're trying.
Listen, we know they suck, and it's not always fun, and the discourse can sometimes even, especially online, get mean and personal and silly, but we're trying to just make this a little more fun for everyone, because we do love the Flyers. They just, it's tough when they're bad. Yeah. But I'm glad we're still able to entertain you, even if the team fails to a lot.
Yeah.
From, what's that? Biscardi Pictures?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can we start a campaign to bring back the 2012 goal horn? I need to see Michkov score a playoff goal, then hear the...
Is that the dupe?
That's
We're talking
dupe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dupe.
I know the song. People also talk that the horn is different. These are things I never noticed.
I don't notice it either. People have been in my
horn
mentions
different?
about it. It's not something I pay attention to. It's really not.
I didn't notice that the horn was different.
I think some people think it is.
I will say I'm good with, and I love Van Halen, but when this team is good and it matters, we need a better goal song. As much as I love Van Halen.
I've been saying for years.
I'm a hater of the goal song. I think it's bad.
Charlie hates classic rock, especially hair metal. I think it's really the hair metal that Charlie hates.
It needs to be fun, like Limp Bizkit.
That was fun tonight.
Just
Buffalo,
saying.
great goal song.
Yeah.
Terrible team. From Rory, IBX Center next season and Wawa ad jersey sponsor.
Why not?
I actually don't think it's going to be independent Blue Cross.
No?
Because I think they want like $1 trillion.
That's true. They would get a discount.
This old deal was because it was signed in 96 and money is just different now. Was
Yeah.
for nothing. I was reading an article just about team values, and it was from the beginning of the season. And the Flyers were in the top 10, but 6 or 8. It was but that is likely to change simply because I think it was $3 million or something.
Oh,
maybe
my goodness.
maybe it was $3 million a year, but whatever it was,
Not a lot.
it's going to be considerably more than that. And I bet it's another financial institution.
Wouldn't doubt
my
it.
Guess. All right, from JH, these people that were big mad the last couple of weeks because they're playing themselves out of pick number 4 look really silly right now. Listen, that is also fan is short for fanatic. It's one thing I love about sports. You get to be irrational and stupid.
That's what I do here.
You have to go through life and do your best to be logical and do the right thing all the time and try to be centered. And then in sports, you get to drink beer and yell at the men on TV. That's the fun of it.
They're children, pretty much, and I yell at them.
These men are all younger than me. You get to be mad at a bunch of people who are way better than you at something you can only dream of doing. That's sports. But yeah, it is nice that after all of that, this is the way it went. Yeah. All right, Tim N. New to PHLY this season. Big fan. Love you guys. Thank you. Hypothetical. If Flyers find themselves with the number 1 pick, do they go with Schaefer?
Probably.
You said you think so, Charlie?
I think they would, yeah. I do. I don't know for sure. Maybe they don't even know for sure yet, but I do think that they would probably go with the guy who is becoming the consensus number 1. You have to really look for a public ranking from the big names that doesn't have Schaefer number 1. It seems like that's the consensus. I think the Flyers probably will go with it. And thank you, Tim N, for joining us this year.
Yeah.
Based on the numbers we look at, our audience has grown significantly. Yay. And that's pretty impressive given the fact that last year the team was pretty good and this year they've been legitimately bad.
From Fuzzy Dunlop, I love a Wire reference. What up, Fuzzy? Great season, fam. Cheers. Cheers to you as well. It's bad luck to toast with water, but I only had 1 beer tonight and I finished
Just
it.
pretend there's vodka in there.
Yeah, it's definitely water. From Flyers, Chirp. Good to hear from you, Chirp. Let's go Flyers. Frondell, Hagens, Misa, Schaefer. I think they're all on the board.
Depends on the spot.
It's gonna depend. Now we know where it's gonna be in the top 6, but 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. We just don't know.
No.
But I think they're all very much, obviously, in contention.
Absolutely.
All right, from Pacenema, a bucket of poop with goalie stick on top, better than Kolosov. I don't think we're ever going to have to worry about Kolosov again. That's just my guess.
For your
maybe he gets dramatically better in the KHL and can be relevant in a couple years.
Sure, maybe.
I don't think he's relevant for this team at the moment.
And then he will be traded to Utah.
Yeah, bye, bud.
That's my guess. From Brad McNutt, props to all 3 of you and the crew behind the scenes at PHLY. Made this Flyers season and my commutes tolerable. Let's get that number 1 pick. Well,
Thanks,
that's what we got to root for now, May 5th. And if you're a diehard, you can come to our party right here in studio.
Sure can.
All right, from Lyndon49. I feel like we haven't heard from Lyndon in a while.
Lyndon.
Yeah, he's popped
What's
up the last
going on,
couple
Lyndon?
days.
Okay, what's up, Lyndon? Thanks, guys, for everything. Thanks for
you,
joining us so
Lyndon.
consistently.
Indeed.
Timbo Slice, another one of our regulars. Thank you, everyone on PHLY. Love you all. Girlfriend broke up with me last Friday. She's the one that got me to be a Flyers fan. Here's hoping Flyers make the playoffs next season. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Love. Also, why not us?
Why not us?
Timbo,
Hang in
you're
there,
better
bud.
off.
Hang in there, bud.
You're
You
always
keep
better
the Flyers
off.
in the breakup.
Yeah, they're yours.
That's true.
You negotiate the Flyers, and you're better off,
Yeah.
You'll find the one who's right for you. All right, from Jessica Weber Metzenroth. Our fam loves your show. Oh my God. Toddler even dances to the intro. Oh, that's adorable.
I love that.
Say hi to my husband, Jason, who is going to stay up too late watching you all again.
Cheers,
Hi,
Jason.
Yeah, we're all up too late. That's one thing I think we're all looking forward to is nights off for a few months.
I love
It's really,
sleeping.
really fun. And remember, starting Monday, April 28th, The show moves to noon, Monday to Friday, noon to 1, or 1:15.
But next week it's still at 4.
Next week, all 4 o'clocks, and then Monday, April 28th, we move to noon. All right, from Obi, Meow. Are we playing the Meow game?
Thank you for your service.
Wow. Yes, appreciate it.
Thanks, Obi-Wan.
All right, from Dirty Typer. This is getting great. Just got home from the game. So just got home from my game. I don't know.
No,
what this
just
says.
got home from game.
So infuriating. I'm sorry about that, Typer. I'm sorry. From Ben Ace. All right, my one right tank fandom.
My one night
tank fandom is over. It's
tank era is over, or at least I'm manifesting. Thank you, Ben. Thanks so much for being active in the Discord and being a regular viewer. I think this was a one-time thing.
I do believe they're going to make at least some moves that make them a little better.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if they're going to be top 3 in the division or whatever, but I think they're going to be closer to the playoffs than they are the bottom 5. Yeah. All right, from Via Negativa. Generally love all you guys and the show so much. You genuinely make following this team so much fun, so much more enjoyable.
Thanks,
we couldn't do
bud.
it without you. Like, the audience is what makes us able to do it, and we are just so appreciative. Another one from Dirty Diaper. Challenging calls, pulling goalie, lost my mind.
Now I get what he was getting at. He must have been at the game.
Yes.
And was losing his mind in the stands.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
We were losing our minds in here.
I was wondering if that person was was someone who wanted them to win the game.
Those
people do exist.
Tonight, I don't know if there were any. JH, to wrap it all up, we love you, Timbo. Also love y'all, chat, and PHLY.
And we ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Listen, just because the season's over.
I'm not leaving.
But the show goes on.
The show goes on.
But for tonight, that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I just want to take one more chance to thank all of you for joining us all season. But we're not going anywhere. Like we said,
608 likes.
Oh my God. That is
just tough to top that one.
Bringing a tear to my eye. Follow us right here on YouTube because, again, we're not going anywhere. 4 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to be doing this exact same thing all over again. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. Check out the Blue Sky, too, PHLY Flyers. And follow the podcast wherever you get those. All right, that is it. The season is over. We have done it, fam. And they have the 4th best lottery odds. Thank you to my 2 awesome co-hosts, Charlie O'Connor, Kelly Hinkle. Thank you to Steve Jaco, who is not with us tonight.
Yes.
He's with us. He's alive, but he's just not on the show.
He's with us in spirit.
Yes, he is. Thank you to our producers again. That's it. It's over. Good night, everybody.
All silly like the mayor.